Welcome, welcome. We are getting ready to kick off our 2018 eXp Explained live webinar here very shortly. We've got people logged in from around the country. I can see them logging in right now, which is great. First of all, my name is David Harbour. I'm one of the regional development leaders here at eXp Realty. I've been with the company. It'll be just 7 years coming up this spring. And if you're a real estate agent or a broker, maybe you've just started into the business. Maybe you've been 20 years in the business. Maybe you have your own real estate brokerage. However it is that you got here to the webinar, I'm glad that you're here. You're going to hear something that is, I believe, groundbreaking and revolutionizing what's happening in the real estate world. And if you haven't heard of eXp Realty, you shortly will. This company has quickly grown to almost 46 states at a growth of over 175%. And there's a reason behind that. It's because agents are tired of the old business model. So we're going to wait a couple seconds here, but if you're a real estate agent or broker, you're in the right place. What we're going to do is I'm just going to give a little bit of an overview of where we are as a company, where we've come, and then dive into a little bit about our business model and why is it that agents are flocking here from the traditional brokerages. Because there's a lot of great brokerages out there. But what I'm going to ask you to do is over the course of the next half hour or so is forget about the logos, forget about how much you love your broker and the coffee and the great people. That's important, and we have that here as well. But I want you to take a look at what we're offering as far as a business model, as far as classes, as far as a real exit strategy in real estate, which is lacking in our real estate community. Is what is your exit strategy from real estate? And whether it's you've got 5 years to go or you've just started in the business, there's going to be a day where you're going to say, I want to quit. And most brokerages don't really have an answer for that. So we're excited that you're here. So I'm going to get started. As I mentioned, we've got people coming in. Actually use the chat box there. If you have a question for me, I'll be able to respond to you, say hi, put your email in. Let me know if I can answer any of your specific questions as we're going along. I want to make sure that I'm answering everybody's question. Matter of fact, just do me a favor and say hi on the chat box. That way I can make sure it's working properly. My name is David Harbour. I'm located just outside of Washington, D.C. I came on board, probably about 7 years ago to the day that I was approached by this wonderful, wonderful opportunity that has greatly changed my life and really kind of changed the trajectory of what the real estate community is doing for agents and brokers across the country. So without further ado, I'm going to open up a presentation and do a little bit of screen sharing. So give me a second here and we'll work the wonder of magic of technology. And if you have any questions at all as we're going through this, please do not hesitate to ask any questions. So first of all, as I mentioned before, I've been with the company coming up on 7 years this spring. My personal background is went to school at the University of Illinois, played a little football there, and had an opportunity to sign as a free agent with the Washington Redskins. Everybody asked me, did I go to the Super Bowl? No. I signed 2 months after they went to the Super Bowl, and then I got released just as they went to the Super Bowl in '93. So I was in between. But I did have the opportunity to play in the World League, which was NFL-based over in Europe, and won a championship there, and had a last tryout with the Steelers. Putting that aside, got into real estate. Actually, no, I got into sports. Immediately after that, I worked for the NBA and NHL for 5 years and had a wonderful time doing that. But at some point, I realized that I didn't want to have a boss. And so it's almost 20 years now. I got into real estate, and I've loved it ever since. Been in real estate coming up on 20 years. Been, on the board of directors. I started out at a small brokerage, Weichert, which was a great start for about a year, moved over to the big balloon company and did that for 12 wonderful years and had a team, had a lot of fun with that. I was on HGTV on a show called Get It Sold with Sabrina Soto. And I say all that not to bang my drum, but to let you know that I'm a real estate professional from, through and throughout. And so I want to make sure that, when I'm presenting this, I know what I'm talking about as far as being in the real estate industry and what it has to offer and doesn't have to offer. And that's important. So getting back to who is eXp Realty? Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. But eXp Realty was created by Glenn Sanford right around 2009, and I'll get to Glenn. But think of it as the launch of Amazon. Amazon back then was actually, looked upon as a lot of people laughed. You're going to sell books online. You're not going to have any brick and mortar. Well, the same type of thing occurred when Glenn said, listen, how can I create the most efficient real estate brokerage, offer the greatest tools, the greatest compensation without losing any of that? And so what he basically did is he analyzed the traditional real estate brokerage and found out the biggest overhead expense was the brick and mortar office. And the office was an integral part of real estate, probably in the 90s when we didn't have technology. But I think when phones and iPads and things like this, where agents can literally be plugged in anywhere, anytime, any place, the office became less and less important. And that's what's happening. According to the National Association of Realtors, most top producing agents don't go into the office. They rarely do. And so with saying that, Glenn said, listen, we're going to create a brokerage where we don't lose any of that training. We're going to increase our collaboration by using this technology. And because of that, we're going to lower our overhead, and we're going to be able to give our agents killer tools and give them a compensation that is unparalleled. Nobody will be able to match that. Well, when they rolled it out, Inman News gave us the nod as one of the most innovative real estate brokerages in the country, which was pretty special 2 years into it. And then quickly after that, Stefan Swanepoel gave us the nod as one of the real estate brokerages to watch. And he compared us to Amazon. Well, gosh, I can't say how spot on he is. It's been a whirlwind since that time. The company has literally gone light speed in 7 years. And just to give you an idea, in 7 years since I've been on, we've quickly grown to 46 states and 2 provinces in Canada, and getting ready to grow across not only the country, but globally. And our wonderful founder and leader, Glenn Sanford, did something very unique in 2013. He said, listen, we're going places, doing very well, but I want to share in this wonderful company with all the agents. And that's when he did something that was a real game changer, and he took the company public. We did what is called a reverse merger. So each of the agents actually own or have the opportunity to have ownership in the company by stock. And we'll talk more about that. But that in itself was a second kind of step as far as being groundbreaking. Having a real estate brokerage without any offices, groundbreaking. Being able to offer revenue sharing, which again, we'll talk about as part of our business plan, and having stock equity, that's when we knew we had something special. At that time, what's happened is agents across the country slowly started trickling the first couple of years that I was with us. And now it's literally, I think we've gone from a little over 2,000 agents to we're closing in on 6,500 agents, perhaps, maybe more, in a matter of 12 months. So I'm going to turn this back to you again. These are questions that I asked myself, and my story was I was at 100%, wasn't even thinking about leaving. I literally was not. And I'll have to tip my hat to Tom Somerville, who was a RE/MAX broker for many years. I met him out in Vegas. He said, listen, I'm going with this company you probably never heard of, but I think they're the future of real estate. Well, I really respected Tom, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take a look at him. And I started asking myself these questions, or variations of them. What is my exit strategy from real estate? When you're done, most brokerages say thank you and we'll see you later. Do I own any part of that brokerage? Again, I didn't have any equity ownership. The franchise owner did, the broker did. Am I tired of paying for things that I don't need and don't want? Well, in my case, we had a wonderful 10,000 square foot office that I never took a client to, yet I was paying for it. I was paying for a franchise fee. So these are things that eXp is really kind of changing the mold of the way brokerages are. Am I partnered with a cutting-edge real estate brokerage? Well, when you'll find out, when people like Stefan Swanepoel and Inman News say we're one of the most innovative brokerages in the country, they're not kidding around. We literally have 15 to 20 live classes every week all around technology, lead generation, team building, and helping our agents grow their business. And then websites and tools. I know before I just had a website because we were supposed to have a website, didn't know we were supposed to generate leads from it. And then once we started operating as a real estate professional, I realized that you need an IDX and a CRM and you need drip campaigns. Well, at eXp, every agent gets either a conversion website or a Commissions Inc. website. And if you know anything about these are literally the Ferrari of lead generation websites. Our agents can generate 30, 40 leads in a month just by applying some of the easy tools that come with it. They're fantastic tools. So here are some great images that kind of make the comparison of where eXp is. And this is a funny slide here because I just read this today. Brick and mortar offices are closing. I saw that Sears and Kmart are closing 103 stores across the country. And in 2017, nearly 5,000 major chains have shut down. The mentality of the consumer is, hey, it's okay to buy online. Well, the same type of thing, it's okay to work online. And so eXp has often been compared to Amazon and Netflix. Blockbuster, the analogy is Blockbuster was a brick and mortar. Everybody used to go there. Netflix came in and said, we're going to do things online, and everybody kind of laughed. Well, nobody's laughing anymore. We don't see too many more Blockbusters around. And the same thing with bookstores. Amazon came in and said, listen, we're going to sell books online. By the way, eXp's been compared to Amazon. And we've seen where that has taken. Jeff Bezos is probably, if he's one or two with Bill Gates as far as the most powerful humans on the earth as far as wealth. eXp is a lot in that mold where we have taken away that brick and mortar, which has allowed this company to do things that are truly outside of the box. The vision that Glenn and some of the pioneers that put the company together have built a global community that is designed, powered, and owned by the agents and partners. And it's transforming the real estate industry. It really is. So what's the difference? The difference is all the brokerages on the left-hand side are great brokerages. They have wonderful agents. But the business model is they're either a franchise or they're owned by somebody. So if you're working for one of those, you're most likely paying a franchise fee or you're working for somebody else. At eXp, we are an agent-owned cloud brokerage. We're a publicly traded company, and our agents actually can earn stock. We have a board of directors that has 2 of our agents on the board. We have an agent advisory council that advises the board. That is a major point on the difference of eXp. The other thing is, I think we're positioned, a lot of people ask me, why are you growing so fast? Why are you growing at 175% this past year? And I think it's just timing. The timing is right and technology is right. What's happened is, we know that Century 21 did a great job of franchising and globally spreading that brand. Then Dave Liniger came in and changed the business model up a little bit where he said, we're going to give 100% to the agents, which was great. I was there. I loved it. And it empowered you to a certain extent. And then Keller Williams came along. And I think they were really groundbreaking. Obviously, they're the largest in the world at the time to date. And they said, listen, we're going to not only educate the agent, we're going to help them create their own business, and we're going to help them with some type of exit strategy and profit share. Well, what we're hearing from a number of agents that have come from that particular brokerage is that it's tough for a lot of these brick and mortar offices to really become profitable because there's so much overhead. And so in my humble opinion, and what's happening with the growth of this brokerage is that we're seeing people saying, you know what, I don't need that big, huge office that I thought I needed. And I can go to this office, Cloud office, I can go to a Regis office. And because of that low overhead, I now have ownership, I have revenue share, or at least the ability to do revenue share, and I get great tools and training. And so we're just seeing that the stars are lined up with technology and timing of what's happening in the real estate industry. That's why we're seeing the growth that we've seen. On this presentation, we'll talk a little bit about the history model, eXp World, what is that? Your business, your way, behind the scenes, and joining the team. So here's where it all starts, is our fearless leader is Glenn Sanford. Glenn is one of those visionaries who's out there in the West Coast, the Bellingham, Washington, where the company started. And he was a top producing agent with a team that spanned multiple states, did 60 million plus, and was, had all kinds of accolades, and was really kind of one of the pioneers for lead generation for online. And when he said, listen, we're going to create something where we don't lose collaboration, we don't want to lose that camaraderie, and we want to make it so we'll take away that overhead, but I want to be able to pay the agents in such a way that there is some type of retirement plan or exit strategy that runs parallel to their real estate industry or the real estate business. And so Glenn, when he launched it, and he's just, I can say this, if he watches it, he's probably one of the most humble guys that you'll meet, but he's 10 steps ahead of everybody else, which I'm glad he's on our team. As far as some of the timeline here for the company, as we talked about, 2009 is when the company was launched. 2011 is when we were a finalist by Inman News. And then that 2013, when Glenn basically said, we're going to give ownership to the agents, that to me was, I had already joined the company, but that was a real game changer as far as everybody who was with the company and who has come on board since, because it's giving you the ability to invest in your own company, earn stock in your own company, and prepare for an exit strategy. So when you want to step down from real estate, you have not only your great business that you've accumulated, but you've also got stock in your own company that you can cash out, possibly one day get dividends. I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but these are the types of things that are allowing agents to do things that they never had the ability to do at their previous brokerage. And then I mentioned we've almost tripled in size over the last year. So our expansion, as I mentioned, I think this is probably one state behind. I think we're in 45 states, DC, and 2 provinces in Canada. The growth speaks for itself. If there's one problem that we're having is that we're growing tremendously fast. And so there's a reason for that. And I think, as I mentioned before, the timing is right, the technology is right, that is allowing agents to really kind of fulfill what they had in mind as far as building a real business model within real estate. And that's what this company is. It's almost like a gift that's given to you so you can build your own business. Doesn't matter whether you're a single agent, maybe I've got a team of 5, maybe I've got a mega team of 10 or more. Or maybe I've got my own brokerage and I'm tired of paying those overhead bills and I want to transfer all those agents over and have eXp do the back office, the support, the training, providing the tools. And now I can sit back and maybe help and orchestrate my team that I brought over. The comparison is fairly drastic. When you look at the typical franchise, costly overhead, you're locally confined, you're kind of inconsistent in growth and incentives, and you're limited in technology, usually due to money. At eXp, you don't have any boundaries. And what I mean by that is because we're not a franchise, we're not owned by a local owner, that I have the ability to network, referral with agents around the country and even outside of the country on a daily basis. We can learn from them. Our classes, we literally, if we have somebody who's excellent at social media marketing in California or somebody who's really good at REOs in Florida, we all get to benefit from it. And that's the power of this collaboration of the company. As far as the cloud environment, you can work from anywhere, anytime, any place. You know, I have a personal story that my wife is from Europe, and we went there, and I taught when I was teaching a class for the company a couple years ago. I literally sat on a park bench with Wi-Fi and taught the class. Didn't skip a beat. We don't have any desk fees. We've cut the overhead drastically because we don't have that brick and mortar overhead. And we do everything with the mindset of trying to be streamlined. Paperless transactions, communication, keeping everything online, and then instant access to training and support. Excuse me. As far as the online training, the typical brokerage is going to be limited because they don't have the resources or the time to bring somebody in to the brokerage. But at eXp, again, because we don't have these boundaries, we literally can bring in great trainers from around the country, and the entire company benefits from it. Live and recorded events. And the beauty of it is that they've taken it to a whole nother level where I can actually be on my mobile phone and logged into a class while I might be out and about or driving or sitting in traffic, God forbid. They've thought of everything. As far as collaboration, we've already talked about some of these different locales that we have, but it's the power of being able to communicate. For example, Randy Prothrow from Hawaii sent me a lead. I met in the Cloud office, and I had never met the clients before. I'd only met Randy once. From Hawaii sent me the lead. That's the power of the collaboration, where you're dealing with agents from around the country on a daily basis. As far as agent ownership, this is, how can I put this? This really empowers the agents, because now it really makes them feel as though this is their company. And it is, in a sense. They have ownership in it. Whereas before you were basically renting a brand. If you were with another company, you were helping them promote it. But at the end of the day, you did not have any ownership of it. When you left the company, they didn't pay you. You know, there was recently a brokerage here on the East Coast that was bought out by Warren Buffett. And I asked, did you guys get anything out of that? The agents get anything out of it? Knowing that they didn't. And saying, gosh, that's unfortunate. At this company, agents actually have ownership. They have stock. They have 6 different ways of earning that stock. That is powerful. So I'm going to fast forward here, but the Cloud office, how it works. What you're seeing right here is, and this was probably the biggest hurdle for me when I first heard about eXp, is you don't have any offices. So what if I need an office? Not a problem. We actually have an agreement, a national agreement, might be international, but a national agreement with Regis offices that are grade A facilities. I'm going to pop out of here for a second, but if you don't know what those are, there's literally 3,000 locations, 900 cities, and in 120 different countries. And what do they look like? Well, they look like this. These are business lounges across the country. Every agent within eXp can go in, flash their card for their small $50 a month tech fee, and they get access to any one of these facilities anywhere in the country. There's a business lounge. You can go in, Wi-Fi, meet a client, drink their coffee, do whatever you need to do. And as I mentioned, they're all over the country. Now, this right here is our cloud office. And what we do is we use this for training, collaboration, and support. Now, hear me out. Think of this. You log in, put on your headset, and you literally log in to a cloud office with buildings and desks and clouds. Sounds like a video game, but it is probably one of the most efficient ways to communicate and get things done. And it probably takes you a time or two to go in there before a light bulb pops on and you go, I get it. I can go directly to accounting and get my question answered. I can go to technology. And instead of waiting on a line or trying to track somebody down, I can immediately have somebody in our tech support group go into the office. I could, if I want, have them take over my computer and help me fix whatever I needed fixed. We have classes every day that you literally can go and see what the schedule is for the day. And it could be as simple as lead generation 101 to all the way of how do I put together a mega team of 10 and what is the structure of that and everything in between. It is a powerful, powerful tool. I'll say here, excuse me, if you have been invited here and you're speaking with somebody about eXp Realty, get into the cloud office tomorrow. We have a national leadership meeting at 11 o'clock. Go in and experience it. This is the heart and soul of this company. And I think once you go in, a light bulb will pop on and you say, okay, I get it. I get how this company and why this company is growing the way it is. Give me a second here. This is I'm going to take a quick drink here. This is actually a video of what the cloud office is like, but our agents actually log in and they look at a class schedule and they go right to the class, or they can go to support and they can, this guy's walking around the campus here, but you can see when you've got a headset on, this isn't like a webinar where you're just falling asleep. You are literally interacting, talking, raising your hand, screen sharing. And I often say there isn't anything that I can't do in this cloud office other than high five somebody or spill coffee on you. Especially in days like today. I'm on the East Coast. It is cold outside. I didn't have to leave the office today, and I didn't miss a beat. And I was able to go to a couple of classes. It is an extremely powerful tool that is we are doing things that companies are wishing that they could do, which is very, very exciting. As far as the technology and tools that this company provides, I would say they're second to none. We use Google Suite services. That means that everything is done on Google professional apps, YouTube, Google Drive. We use Google Professional Mail, video conferencing, you name it. The suite is a very powerful package. We use SkySlope for our transaction platform, which integrates with Zip Forms and a number of other platforms, has a built-in digital signature with it. We also have eXp Enterprise. Now, for those that I'm going to do a screen share here, at eXp Enterprise is a one login dashboard that each of our agents can go and they can literally see a snapshot of their deals, how much stock they've earned, revenue share, and which we'll get to in a second, and a number of other classes that are being offered. It's a one-stop shop where literally they can log in and access almost everything regarding the company. Here, you have the ability also to search agents across the country. And then I'm going to share something here where we talked about you have the ability to buy stock and earn stock. The dashboard actually allows you to go in and track the stock and when it actually will vest and when you can cash it out and what possibly that value is as of the date. It is a very, very powerful tool, and I want to, give a hats off to our wonderful tech support team. They've done a great, great job with this. As far as branding and marketing, we want you to brand yourself Okay, there aren't any set templates that you have to use. It's just whatever the state requires that you use for marketing that you're required, but you can put in your brand, your logo, and powered by eXp Realty or the eXp logo and whatever color you deem fit for your marketing approach. And as far as lead generation, this is where this company just, I think because of the leadership of Glenn, has just taken it to a whole nother level. When we think of 9 out of 10 buyers and sellers, they go to the internet looking for information about realtors, homes, leads online. This is where the mindset is. eXp is going to not only show agents how to do online lead generation, but we're going to give you tools to do it. And we talked about conversion and then also Commissions Inc. And if you know anything about these websites, these are very, very powerful websites. They literally have a CRM, a mobile app. They have texting capabilities. They have automatic drip campaigns. They are very, very powerful systems. It would cost you somewhere in the neighborhood of $750 if you were to go and purchase these websites, and in that same neighborhood on a monthly basis to maintain it. At eXp for $50, you'll get this website along with all the other tools, along with access to the Regis offices and everything that we've just talked about. We already talked about branding and marketing here. We've hired a gentleman by the name of Mitch Robinson who came over from Zillow, and he's doing a fantastic job with our marketing brochures and listing marketing pieces, and each and every day, and we're just getting more and more that is given to the agents as far as what we can utilize for our business. We already talked about classes. We probably have anywhere between 15 to 20 live classes each and every week. You can watch them on your tablet. You can be at home watching while you're doing other work. I'll guarantee you, these are some of the top trainers across the country that are training our agents on a myriad of topics. This is one of the crown jewels as well with this company, is the support that we get, which a lot of people, they have concern. Well, how do you guys get support in the cloud office? Well, I know what it was like at a brick and mortar. This operation with our support, agent services, brokerage operations, technology, marketing, everything, I can literally log into the cloud office and get an answer within minutes of anything that I need help with, which is extremely important when we all know that time is of the essence for us. That's our greatest asset. And then one of the things that it was rolled out this past week that has just added a whole nother layer of not only credibility to the company, but vision, is eXp's core values. I know that Glenn Sanford, our founder and CEO, with the help of others, have put together this wonderful vision and culture outline that entails, things like community, service, sustainability, collaboration, transparency, which is also important. We're publicly traded, so all of the filings are done, and you can see at any time and log into expworldholdings.com. Integrity, innovation, agile, and the last one is fun. But these are important. I mean, wherever you're going to work, you want to make sure that you enjoy what you're doing, you enjoy the people that you're working with, and that you truly believe in what this company is doing and where they're going. So the other unique feature about this model is that in a traditional brokerage, it's usually the broker who's mandating what's going down for the office. Here, we have what is called an agent advisory council that's made up of 12 agents within the company. They get together, and we're able to voice concerns, problems to them, suggestions, and they're able to take it, mull it, and then actually bring it up to our board of directors. So if there's something that we're not liking as a company, we have power in the direction or changes that occur as a result of that. And so I'm thankful for this Agent Advisory Council that we have a voice for whenever anything goes wrong, that we can bring it to them and change will be made. So here's the drum roll on the actual business model for the company, for those folks that are really diving into the figures. So the commission is an 80-20 commission, straight up. Everybody has it starting day one. And I'll just stop there. I came from 100%. Why would I go to an 80-20? Time out. I know that I had 100%, but I had a monthly fee. I had to buy my own website, hosting, IDX, CRM. There was a lot of stuff that I had to shell out of my pocket that really kind of leveled the playing ground. And so at EXP, it's an 80-20 split until you hit 16,000. That means you've paid out 16,000 to the company. When you've hit 80,000, 16,000 of that goes to the company. Then you immediately go to 100%. That's it. There's no franchise fee. We do have some small transaction fees, but there's no national franchise fee. There's no additional fees capped on top of that. Starting out with the company, it's $99 to start out. And for $50 a month, you get access to any Regis office anywhere in the country. That in itself is worth $50. You get a Conversion or Commissions Inc. website. Well, we know that those are $500 plus a month to have for regular folks that are looking to buy those. And SkySlope, Google Apps, and all the other tools that we're given. Upon your first sale, there's what is called, you have an anniversary date. Upon your first sale, there's a $420 tuition fee. That's only done upon your first sale. Now, that in itself is wonderful. That was enough for me to make the change. But here is the true difference between EXP and all the other business models, is that we really have 3 rails of revenue to incorporate into your business plan. The second one here is you can earn stock in the company. There's multiple ways. Selling something, introducing somebody to the company and they sell something. If I make it to that 16,000, the company gives me stock. And until we hit 16,000 agents, our company is actually giving stock away for those 3 that I just mentioned. Your first sale, upon you introducing somebody, they selling something, and you capping. The company's giving it to you until we hit 16,000 agents. We also have what is called an Icon Agent program for those agents that are really considered at the upper tier in their particular markets. If you are an Icon agent, if you're somebody who does 500,000 GCI, or you're doing at least 30 plus transactions, come and talk to us or talk to the person that brought you to the webinar. We'll explain more about the Icon Agent program. And then the last one is the Agent Equity program. It's basically each of the agents have the ability to take 5% of their commission and buy stock at a 20% discount. And so they basically have the opportunity to invest in their own company and almost instantly build equity. And that's something that you run parallel to your business. Now you have stock. I didn't have that before. This is a matrix here of what's happening with that stock that's being gifted. And as you can see here, when we get to 16,000 agents, that'll most likely be turned off. We're somewhere in the neighborhood of between 6,000 and 8,000 agents. So upon your first, transaction for the year, you'll be given 50 shares of stock. An agent who caps, you'll be given 125. And if you introduce somebody to the company and they sell something, you'll be given 125 shares of stock. And those have to vest. You're given to them in a period of time, and then you can actually do whatever you want with them, put them in your TD Ameritrade account, and have fun with it. It's been, I don't want to dive down that rabbit hole of stock, but EXPI is our stock ticker. Check it out for yourself. Or you can go to expworldholdings.com and look at all the financials on the company. The third rail of revenue is revenue sharing. And this one is, really an eye-opener in the real estate industry. So in my previous brokerage, if I introduced somebody to the company, I would get a Starbucks card or a pat on the back and say, thank you. Here at eXp, you introduce somebody to the company and they're a producing agent, you actually earn revenue based on it. So let me get this straight. I introduce somebody to the company and I get paid a percentage of their gross commission? Yeah. And this is how it works. I don't want to get too much into the weeds with this, but let me just put it this way. It's the highest residual income plan in the business, period, bar none, not even close. And there's a difference. And again, I don't want to jump into this too much, but the other brokerage that may be doing something that you thought was close to this is called profit share. This is revenue share. Nobody ever gets in the way of your commission that you receive from bringing somebody in. And it works like this. I bring somebody into the company, I get 3.5% of their gross commission until they cap, which is equal to about $2,800. I can bring on as many people as I want in as many states as I want. And the unique thing about this is I actually earn on a second level and third level. So if I bring somebody in and they bring somebody in, I earn on those different levels, and it goes 7 levels deep. It is extremely powerful, lucrative. Nobody has to do it here at eXp, but we're growing. And I think instead of us paying for big fancy buildings, this is a way of sharing in the revenue. And so I would also say that the person who invited you here, you really need to find out about stock and your revenue share model in more detail. And I can only say that, as agents, we know that you can pretty much, if you can fog a mirror, you can go to a lot of places. And I know that when I made the change to come here 7 years ago, it was a leap of faith. I mean, literally, we only had a couple hundred agents. Getting somebody to talk about eXp was difficult. And something's happened, I would say probably within the last 3 years, where people now are starting to flock to this company. I wouldn't be surprised, and this is just a guess, that we could be at 10,000 agents by the middle of 2018. That is astonishing at the growth rate. And the reason is because two things. Agents are sick and tired of paying for things that they don't need and don't want. And they're looking for a real business model that's going to help them build a nest egg, so perhaps they have something unique for retirement that they didn't have before. So I'm running a little bit long here. I'm sorry if I'm long-winded, but is there anybody here that has any immediate questions as I'm looking here? I see we've got a number of folks that are across the country. We're going to be doing these periodically. We're going to be doing live eXp Explained events where we'll come into your area and do a live presentation for a number of agents. And we're extremely excited about what's happening here in 2018. So if you're watching this and you're not on board yet, do yourself a favor and learn more about this business model. All too many times, we as agents want to put up these defenses to say, oh, nobody knows who you are, you don't have market share, I don't like your logo, whatever it is. And let me just tell you that there was a study out by the National Association of Realtors that says most consumers don't pick their agents based on their brokerage. They pick the agent based on the agent's credentials. And this company has given, I know, a number of people across the country, it's changed their lives. I don't want to sound too sappy here, but the ability to continue on with your great sales and maybe even take it to another level, to earn stock and I can earn actual revenue by introducing people to the company. Wow, that's revolutionary. That's it's a game changer. Yeah, and it's really happening. So I would just say, I'm going to give you a couple of websites here, guys. Excuse me for my little cough. It's the winter time. But again, if somebody introduced you here today, go and meet with them. Get a link to the Cloud office. Go into the Cloud office. And if you want to talk with me, with them, we could set up a video conference. But we are attracting top teams across the country. If I can give a shout out to Kat Dorellis, I saw that she was on here. #1 agent, I think, in Delaware, just brought her entire team on. We're so thankful. But that's happening across the country. And so for those that don't have anybody to talk to, give me a call or go to bestbrokeragemodel.com, fill in that information. You can text EXPI and you'll get a bunch of videos and also company information to the number 571-350-8632. But couldn't be more excited about 2018 with this company. And just want to say that, you know, somebody says, you know, I don't know if I have time to take a look at that, or you know, whatever excuse it is, put it behind. Listen to it. Listen to what the model is. Listen to what other agents who have been in your shoes and who have made the transition over here, why this company is so outside of the box. And so anyways, I can go on and on about it, but I just want to say that I hope you have a fantastic 2018. And I'm here to help. If any of the eXp agents are watching this, I'm here to help them out in any way, shape, or form. And I hope you have a wonderful 18. But if you're kicking the tires, get with somebody, love the opportunity, and to talk to you more about this company that is literally sweeping the country. Thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you later.